Well, because
That's messed up, bro.
It's Jimmy's birthday.
You had a dream about, huh?
It was Rob Conrad's birthday yesterday.
Rob Conrad from Magic 96?
Yeah, so
Happy birthday, Rob Conrad.
It's belated.
Belated? But he didn't call me and tell me.
Huh?
He didn't call me.
No, actually, I think it was
September 1st today's.
Yeah, I think it was this morning. Yes.
Okay, happy birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Rob Conrad.
So why the hell did I have a dream about him last night?
A lot of people on radio don't like Rob because he's
Why?
Because he's made it last.
Yeah.
He's making good money and he can
never
set off in the sunset. He can retire whenever the hell he wants.
He's 75 years old.
Most radio people
Water
can't do that.
skis.
Yeah, he's in good shape.
He's figured it out.
I like him.
You know his birthday is today?
I don't think his show with you is as good as mine.
You know his birthday also is today?
Who's that?
Matt Murphy.
Really? No, he's a different character.
Well, so Matt's 49, Rob's 75. Rob Conrad's 75, our buddy.
She goes to show, man. You stay in radio long enough, it'll either kill you or.
Like you said, he figured it out.
He did figure it out. And there were some times probably at Magic where they probably could have gone in a different direction, but he's always been the mainstay. His sidekicks have always been got in the booth, but he's a good guy. Hey, good morning to you. It's Kurre and Klapow here on Facebook Live.
You're a good guy.
I am, and I could have gotten back into that radio thing, but it's changed so much. He stayed with it.
Yes.
I don't think he's been in a situation where they've come in and said, Rob, we know you're making $200,000 a year. We're going to have to ask you to take a $100,000 pay cut. Because that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
You know, and he doesn't take long vacations. In radio, if you take a vacation every 7 days, chances are your ass will not have a job when you get back.
Really?
Yeah, you got to be. I'm telling you, I've seen more people get fired after they come back from vacation, like during vacation.
Yes.
I can think of 3 right off the top of my bat, full timers who were on the air with me that went on vacation, and like the Wednesday they were gone. That's when they decided to pull the trigger. When they came back, they said you ain't got a job. They didn't wait till they got back. They fired them while they were on vacation. One of them, my boss, my old program director,
yes,
was at Disney World with his family.
And then let him know.
It was a $6,000 vacation that he took his 2 kids and his wife on vacation. And he's like, shit, he goes, I know we get fired in this industry, but you could have told me before I spent $6,000 on this vacation. Yeah, what? It's kind of like I bought that Suburban a week before I got fired. They knew they were going to fire me, and I bought a $65,000 Suburban. I did it with the radio station in mind because I was doing their commercials, and I thought I'm going to buy this. And shit, I'm like, you could have told me this. Now I painted the picture. I can polish a turd. I thought, well, you know, maybe I would have had a difficult time getting this vehicle because I would have been unemployed. I wouldn't have had a job. Yeah. So maybe they did me a favor but still, it was a $65,000 car I bought a week before they fired me, and I'm like, dude, it would have been nice if you had let me know. But you know,
do you think it's coincident? I mean, seriously, do you?
No, because they can't tell you. In radio, in radio, like if you got a job in an office at IBM or whatever, your ass is fired, you're gone, they escort you out.
Right, TV's the same thing.
If you're Rob Conrad, he's going to go out the way he wants to go out. When he has his last show, it'll be his last show.
Right.
Friends of his come on, and it'll be great because he's retiring, or he's deciding to leave. When you get fired from radio, if you know you're going to get fired from radio,
yeah, you can't. Right,
TV's
the same way.
Right? You can beg for a last show. Can I have one last show just so I can thank all my? They don't know what the hell you're going to do. Right. They weren't going to give me that chance.
Right. Well, particularly you.
Yeah. So give me one more day because everyone was pissed off at me. All the people that used to listen to jocks were like, dude, I can't believe you left without saying goodbye. Yeah. And I'm like, it's not the way I wanted to do it. But
you know, it's interesting in local TV or TV.
Yeah.
Because national network TV, it's more of a thing, right?
Yeah.
But in local TV, you notice like when anchors leave, they seem to replace them with anchors that look similar.
Yeah.
Not twins.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it has this feeling like, it's not like you're not going to notice.
It's the Ross thing. The Friends, remember when Rachel started dating the dude, what was his name, Russ?
Yeah, that's exactly, that's what it's like.
Yeah.
Not here though. They replace us. I mean, we're irreplaceable. Did you see us on TV yesterday?
You know what? I missed it. I didn't see us on TV yesterday because I was on TV. You knucklehead! I was right here. I know it was.
You don't need to ever be on TV to know how to be on TV.
Toy was really good too. It was nice. I love Mike Dubberly, but it was nice to get some fresh blood in there, and he was very engaged in it. He threw you some big time bones.
No,
he's a consummate professional. It was nice to have to put him on a tag on my Facebook and Instagram and Twitter stuff. So yeah, he was great.
And Toy's a big mental health advocate.
Yeah.
That's kind of one of his.
Well, and so is Janice.
So is Janice, yes.
Yeah.
So is Janice. I mean, everybody is, but particularly they are. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
All right, today on the big show,
Big show.
I posted a video this morning of a big ass spider that was right outside my window. Man, I got some wooded land right there. I don't spray the house down a lot. I let things grow. My realtor's not real happy about that right now. She said, they want to take some of these cobwebs down. I'm like, I don't want to kill spiders.
No.
I got snakes in my front yard. I mean, I just kind of let it go.
You don't let it go. You preserve the natural environment.
Exactly.
I need to say that.
But there was a big, I mean, it was like, and it was red, and it had
what
yellow
was it?
legs. I don't know what the hell it was.
Come on,
It was huge, and it was right here, and I almost walked into it. I was like, oh.
I don't know if you all know that you're a naturalist. You are, like, you know about all kinds, like, you can do radio, you can do TV, you can do podcasts, but you also could have your own sort of nature reality show. Not reality show, you can have your own Tony's Rockin' Nature Show. Walking through your backyard, showing spiders.
I could be Coyote Peterson.
Yes.
Yes.
You could.
All right, we have creepy butt taps on
didn't.
U.S. Open Outrageous. We didn't get into that.
We wanted to do that on TV.
It's hard to do on here because we don't have video, but there was a match in the U.S. Open, and we'll talk about Serena here in a second. But
that was really
where the coach came up and patted her on the butt. Normally, when you hear about
Coach
creepy
and
butt,
Dad.
I know, so I had to watch it. Here's the thing, Josh.
I know.
So
I know
she gets on. She's
yep.
16. He taps her on the butt once. He taps her on the butt twice.
Yes.
Then he taps her 3 or 4 times. She didn't
Nothing.
affect her at all. Then her dad comes up. He does the same thing. And had I not known what to look for, I don't know if it would have been that big of a deal. But because it said creepy butt taps, I was looking for it. It was like the dude who ran off the football field and accidentally touched the.
Oh, it was more than that though. It wasn't. You're right. The title.
Can you honestly, unbiasedly say that though?
Yeah,
knowing what you were looking for.
No, I'll tell you why. The creepy part. Yeah, you're like looking. Here's what I noticed more than anything else. The number of times. I really think that had there not been a title, he capped on the butt. Then he put on the butt one, and then I was reading. I wanted to know who it was.
Yeah.
And then when I was like, oh, that's the coach. He cupped her butt enough times that even if the headline, if I would have just seen that video, I would have gone, I don't know that I would have said creepy.
Yeah.
I would have been, that's strange.
What was more creepy, the fact the coach did it or the dad did it?
Well, in this weird way, and my brain's going all kinds of different directions.
Yeah.
Because there's a part of me that's like, oh, she's from cultural norms. She's from a different country. Kiss on both sides of the cheek. It's that kind of thing. But then I was like, the psychologist kind of part of me is like, okay, I don't know what kind of cultural norms there are that allow you to cup your female player's butt.
Okay, you say cup. Like cupping is keeping the hand on.
Well, it was
for more than like a half second. There was no cupping.
But it wasn't. But it was patting with a cupped hand. It was patting with a cupped hand, and it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And then he came up the back.
Yes, and then he went back down.
So
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a mistake. So I'm struggling. I am struggling with it because she didn't back away, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, there could be all kinds of bad things going on, or there could be literally nothing going on.
And her dad did it, and her dad was with the coach and saw it.
I know,
so
but that still doesn't seem it. It doesn't seem right.
It reminds me a little bit of that family.
And they kissed on the lips.
That kisses a lot. And sometimes you'll see, and I do this. I kiss my father. Now I'll kiss my sister on the lips.
Yes, but it's a dramatic sort of.
Exactly, and we don't see each other but maybe once or 2 or 3 years. And she's probably watching this morning. Hi, Linda. And I love her to death. And we always kiss the lips, and she's always kissed the lips.
Yeah.
I kiss my brothers. I kiss my Jeff brother. I don't kiss my oldest brother because he's not a very embraceable kind of guy.
Do you kiss your brothers on the lips?
I will, but we'll do it more as kind of a funny kind of thing. I always kiss my dad on the cheek, and I've got friends of mine
on the cheek.
I've got a really good friend of mine. His name's Lee Yarborough. He's a great guy. He used to be in my bowling league and everything else, and you could tell he wanted a hug. but he wasn't a hugger. And then when I started hugging, he would go through a crowd to give me a hug, and then I started giving him a peck on the cheek.
That's okay.
I think the first time I did it was kind of a, hey, you big, and then he started kissing me back, and it was really, and it kind of freaked some people out. And I'd see him every week when I was doing my gigs, and I loved it. And if that makes someone feel uncomfortable, I was kind of titillated by that. So when you see a family, who's got a really close knit situation where they're really huggy, touchy,
right?
And they're not making out; they're just kissing.
No, but they're kissing, they're laying on each other, and yeah.
That makes you uncomfortable, and I'm kind of like, I find refuge in that they're so comfortable with each other, and there's an emotional attachment there, an engagement with them that they feel comfortable. They don't care what people think.
That's right.
And so I kind of look at this along the same lines. If it's been going on for a long period of time, and again, it was the Twitter world too. Because the Twitter world, you could post a picture of a mother kissing a 6-year-old child on the lips.
Yeah, and then it'd be
and they go, "Oh my gosh, you're
But so here's what I think lots of us are grappling with, and it's the society we live in, right? It's the day and age that we live in it. What he was doing, we've had so many examples of coaches, male coaches, sexually abusing their athletes.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I think so much of this is, the headline was creepy, but I think for a lot of us...
Larry Nassar ruined it for all of us.
Right. A lot of us, what ran through our head, I know this is what ran through my head. Part of it was, okay, that's a little weird, and I told you cultural. The other was, wow, is this some sort of abusive relationship where this has been going on for a while, and she knows she doesn't move, she doesn't twitch, because she did not pull away. I mean, there are abusive relationships where you see that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm very clear. I'm not saying that I know or I believe that that's what happened, but I'm telling you that's what played through my mind in addition to, okay, that's just a little off.
And the only way we'll ever know is to find out what the intention is of the coach. And if the coach is like a second father figure, he's been with her since she was 12 years old, whatever, then you let it go. That's the other thing is a 16-year-old girl won't say anything.
Right.
Not only because she's been with this coach for a long period of time, but also because her dad is obviously an influence on
the whole
both of them.
thing. Yeah. Listen, that whole thing. It could go either way. Either way is plausible, and as much as we don't want to think that is happening, like you said, Larry Nassar set up. In addition to Larry Nassar, there's lots. Yeah. We can't not think about that. Mm-hmm. And I would actually argue that while we don't want to jump to a gazillion conclusions, I don't know, of all, lots of people saw that.
Yeah.
I would like to know that some people are asking some questions.
It's okay for you to feel uncomfortable and think it's unnatural for that. And you can sit there and say, does anyone think this is kind of strange? But chill out about crossing the line going, this is child abuse or this is sexual assault, because you have no clue.
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't know.
But you don't know, and you don't know that it's not.
And what you're doing is you may be exposing something that needs to be exposed, probably not, but you're also putting this in the mind of this 16-year-old girl who's been through a routine where obviously she loves both. She loves her dad, obviously. Yeah. She loves this guy. So yeah, just be careful how you approach that. It's interesting you bring this up, and we'll talk about Serena Williams. I saw this story this morning. For some reason, it keeps coming back in my head. It was a massage therapist. He's about 36, 37 years old. I forget where he's at. I didn't even print the story up because I didn't think we were going to get into it. He's being charged with sexual assault on 2 of his female customers. Okay. He's been doing it since 2012. He does medical. I don't think he's a doctor, but he works not with teams, athletics, but he works with athletes. Yep. And does massages. And he also has a private business where he's a massage therapist, right? We have Stuart Rome from Woodhouse Day Spa. He's going to record a show today from the Woodhouse Day Spa, and they are top of the line, most respected. They're great. We've actually talked about the Deshaun Watson situation on a show, When in Rome with Stuart Rome. Well, he penetrated, didn't say with what, I'm assuming his fingers, 2 different women. Both of them called him out while they were on the table. What the hell are you doing? And he said something along the lines that this was a wind down. He used it both, a wind down W-I-N-D, down massage wherever they worked out or they played all day or whatever, and said in his own sick little mind that this is something that perhaps would make them relax more. Well, that's the best way I can put it. And then he went on to say, and apologized, that he let his emotions get in the way, and that he made a horrible mistake.
Yeah, that's, I mean...
And I want to ask you as a psychologist, because my daughter asked me this question I told you yesterday. My daughter, my 10-year-old daughter, asked the best question in the world.
Your daughter needs to have her own show.
She said, you have doctors that look at the genital area. And I said, yeah. She said, are there any male doctors who look at women's genitals? And I said, well, sure, they're called OBGYN. So they're called gynecologists. And I said, as a matter of fact, and I don't know the numbers for sure, but I would bet that 80-85% of all gynecologists are men. And she said, that's disgusting. That's sick. That's gross. And I kind of was like, I said, when you take an oath and you're a doctor and you see a woman's genitals, you don't think, I didn't say sexual, but I said, you don't think that way.
That was good.
You don't think that way. You're looking at it as another, like an ear or lips or top of the head or your feet, a podiatrist, whatever. You're looking at it as just another body part that needs to be looked at and cared for and taken care of and made sure that it's working correctly. Yeah. And she didn't get it. She goes, well, can I get a female? And I said, absolutely. I said, I do know some women who would ask for it. In the same way we get a massage, I know that I like to have a woman's hands on massage. I'm not misogynistic or I'm not homophobic. I have had massages from guys. I don't really care because my eyes are closed. I don't talk the entire time. As long as I'm getting a good massage, I don't care if it's a man or woman's hand. But there is something to be said about having a woman's hands give you. It feels a little dirty and it feels a little better to know that a woman's giving me a massage. Okay, and guys' hands are kind of rough over you. So I'm like that's a great question. In this particular case, you got a guy who's been doing massages for nearly 10 years, has not had a problem or any issues, at least we think not, until 2019 when these two particular position things happened. And he said something I thought was really interesting. He said, I let my emotions get to me and made a horrible decision. And I misread the situation. Well, there's no misreading the situation. No. Unless a woman comes in to get a massage and she's like, I want you to do this, then you don't even think for a second that this is something she wants. I don't care if she finds you attractive. I don't care if you've been on a date. This is a massage. Okay, this is not a date. And so, what is it, psychologically speaking? Is this something that if a normal guy is doing massages, he's good. It's almost medical. That's what we do. There are a lot of safety things that are put into place with the towel. The towel does not go up this area. You do not see that. I've never seen.
And there are both not just ethical guidelines. I have a couple friends who are massage therapists. There are laws that vary from state to state.
And I think, to back up, because I'll forget this, I think this is where Deshaun Watson got himself in trouble because he specifically asked, I need you to massage this area, knowing that he was going to get aroused by it, and it was probably making them... So at that point, you go, I can't do that. Yes. I don't feel comfortable doing that. You're going to find someone else to do that.
That's exactly.
I know that that's a part of your body on a football player that maybe hurts more than a regular person. And you probably do need to have that rubbed out.
Have your urologist look at it.
Or the inside of your thighs or whatever. But that's not something I can do. You're going to have to hire someone special to do that. And a lot of women probably should have said that. But they were trying to make their client happy. He's probably paying him really well. Probably something he was doing in his house where they didn't have to do it. But what is that point? What is that line that you cross over? It's almost like doctors dating patients. At what point?
Well, it's even so. So I think the difference is we've talked about this. Massage therapists have probably the most interesting, difficult, psychologically difficult job that I can think of when it comes to intimacy. Mm-hmm. I really can't, because you can, as a physician in OBGYN, but it's different. It is different. this is something where part of the process of massage is to connect with the person and their body with your body. You're not just pushing on them. You're using your hands to not just relieve tension, but to connect with them. And if you talk to massage therapists, they'll tell you part of their job is they got to be in a good headspace so they can do it. Okay. At the same time, you are getting close to all kinds of places that, at least in our society, our culture, are and there are incredible rules and regulations. Again, in this state, I happen to know this because of this friend of mine. There are all kinds of rules, like even males. Males are not allowed to have their chest area exposed. There are no nipples for men. There has to be a towel on it, so even if they're working on your pecs, there has to be a towel. The same thing with about the draping, etc. That being said, you are absolutely, like if they're working on your hips or your buttocks, but particularly your hips and your psoas region, they are right there next to it.
Yeah.
It is their job to, like you said, this is an anatomical thing. I am performing a service. And if you talk to massage therapists who've been doing this a long time, they'll tell you, I look at naked bodies all day long, just like a physician.
Yeah.
Look at bodies all day long. It's naked. I touch them, and there is nothing there. They have trained their brains to see their clients in a very different way. Yep. Now, can everybody do that? No. And I think my guess is you got a lot of people who go to massage therapy school with good intention.
Yeah.
With good intention. And they kind of get their way through, and they start doing it, and they're like, okay, I can't do this.
Do they really?
I don't know for sure, but I would bet I can't do this. I get aroused. Right? I can't be in this field. But you asked about where that crossover is.
What creates that training so they don't go there?
It is
hours and hours of just looking at anatomy and stuff like that. That's not.
It's desensitized. I mean, again, think about a physician.
Yeah.
Think about an OBGYN. They spend their entire. Think about a plastic surgeon. Yeah. I've got a couple of friends who are plastic surgeons. They spend their entire day, particularly those who do breast augmentation. They look at the breast.
Yeah.
And I do think you and I are not in that job, so we don't know. And I think a lot of us are like, that'd be amazing. I think if you looked at breasts or male genitalia all day long, after some point, and particularly if it's your job, it's like, yep, there's another one.
Yeah.
Yep, there's another one.
Brian Christine.
Yes.
I'm like, what are you doing today? Look at the penises. I'm like,
all day long.
But what if Brian was gay?
Yeah. I don't think it would make a difference.
I don't think it would. Not with him. Because he's the best.
Well, but that's... So to me, that is the line that you either have to teach yourself, and you can... Again, a lot of it is desensitization. After you've seen enough of it, you should be able to separate. And that's why I was saying, if you can't, this is not the field for you.
When you become... If you've been doing it for 10 years, and you become... or begin to become aroused.
Yeah, well, that's a great question.
And this is your field. You've gone to college for this.
You're really good
at it. You have a business.
So
what's the next step?
So I think So this is much like a psychologist who maybe has been doing this a long time, and all of a sudden, they have a patient and they start feeling a really intimate connection with
because
them.
you know everything about them.
Exactly.
You should.
Exactly. Yeah. It's in that moment, and I think the same thing for a massage therapist. You've got somebody on your table who's got an amazing body, an absolutely beautiful physique, and on 1 minute you're just kind of doing your job, and the next minute your mind wanders. And I do think, well, I don't know this for sure, I would bet you that massage therapists, at some point as they're doing it, their mind may wander a little bit, sometimes. But much like a psychologist, you bring it back. You bring it back.
Yeah.
You don't allow your brain to go there. How do you not allow it? You tell yourself, this is my client. I'm doing a professional service. This is not arousing, or I can't let this be arousing. And that should be enough to kind of snap you out of it. And that's what I'm saying. And this is probably why he said
does every massage therapist have that thought at least once in their life?
I don't know for sure. I would venture to say yes. Yeah. It's the same way that every psychologist has got a patient that they fall for. We call it countertransference, and there is an intimate connection in our brain, and and you have to pull yourself back, pull yourself out of that situation. And the way that you know that you're going to be okay is if it happens and you pull yourself back and you haven't crossed any lines and you haven't done anything and you're okay, you move forward. If you can't, or it keeps happening again and again, I was talking about this guy's impaired.
Yeah.
He's not necessarily a pathological,
He's not Larry Nassar.
No,
Yeah.
but he can't be doing this anymore.
Yeah.
Not just legally, he can't be doing this more. If he has to make those decisions and he cannot draw that line, then he's not in the right position to do this anymore.
Got college football later on tonight. The UAB Blazers taking on him. I know, it's great. We got a lot to get into, man. Alabama's taking on Utah State on Saturday. Mercer's taking on, of course, the Auburn Tigers on Saturday's college football season, so we're talking tennis. It's
tennis
hard.
And genitals.
It's hard not to watch the Serena Williams. I did not watch the match last night, but I did wake up this morning. I had this feeling. You looked at her numbers. She was like 44-0 in second rounds. She was 40-something-0 at nighttime. She is like the best record at nighttime of any tennis player, male or female, in the history of majors. The number 2 player she was playing last night, they said it was perfect time for her to be picked off because she's suffering from long COVID. She came back too early from her COVID. She is number 2 in the world, but she's not very good at night. She wasn't very good against Serena Williams, period. And Serena Williams wins in 3 sets last night. We were talking about, it's a great story. Tiger Woods was there, a celebrity. I think Ariana Grande was there. There was celebrities all over the place to see Serena Williams because they know if she loses, it'll be her last time. She's already said this is it. She played Wimbledon, and she went out in the first round. This will be her last thing. I don't think anyone was expecting her to win. She was actually an underdog last night in her match.
Did you look at the odds? I don't know about the odds. The odds definitely shifted, I'm sure.
A little bit.
Okay.
But, we talked about not only is she the greatest tennis player in the history of the game, men's and women's. And you can certainly make that argument, make that debate. But she is unlike anything we've ever seen on the tennis court. We love to see people that look different or not that normal looking body type or shape. Yep. Doesn't have anything to do with the fact she's black.
No.
Body type, because she's a big woman. I don't know what she weighs. She's a big woman. She's bulky. What we were saying before you came on today, that someone that could probably get her would be like a young, super skilled, fast person that could go baseline to baseline as quick as possible.
Right.
I just don't see her moving. She's lost a lot of her mobility. She's old. She's had a baby, so she's
getting
older.
She's 41.
And she's playing, 16-year-olds.
Well, and they said that. That's exactly what was said was what's going to get her is the side-to-side mobility, and she had it last night.
Yeah.
They said she said that she's trained. She is at 41 as an athlete. It's all got to come together right for plays for situations like this. And at any given time, you can do what you need to do. But we see this with basketball players as well. Tom Brady is a whole nother thing. Tom Brady thing is a little different because as great as it is, I do think, unlike a match, it's not smoke and mirrors, but lots can be done.
He's got a lot of help.
Yeah.
He's got 6-7 guys in front of him.
Ben as well. Yeah.
As long as he's got the protection.
Right.
And 3.7 seconds in the pocket, he's going to look fantastic. We know that he throws a lot of picks when he's being harassed or rushed. But to go on.
No, but so I think that's exactly. I think it all came together psychologically and physically. If you look at her, she wasn't moving. You look at the person, the woman she played. Mm-hmm. The woman she played is definitely moving faster side to side. But Serena didn't need to move faster.
And you still got to place those shots in the corners in order to get her to. If you're hitting them out, she doesn't have to follow. So
it was just
good for her. It's going to be great.
It is. And the other thing is, and let me just say this too. I get this from my wife. My wife reminds me of this all the time. Having a child, and as a man, we absolutely 100% have no clue, no perception. We can't even fathom. So, like I always say, we always say this. Don't ever try to make the argument about how you're whatever's going on in a relationship, how you're hurting, something's bothering you. It doesn't matter. Do not make an argument in comparison to your wife because no matter what, she can play the baby card.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think about what childbirth does to your body. And she had a difficult pregnancy, but the hormones, the the ripping open of either the vaginal area or if it's a C-section. I mean, just it's a traumatic event. And now you put it all together. She's breastfeeding. I mean, all this stuff. Imagine if that was us.
Yeah.
And so to be able to watch her play at her age, at her level, and of having 2 children, and I think a lot of people were like, oh, you don't say that about having children. Yes, because we could take the children part out and say, oh, guess what? She had a watermelon come through her vaginal area.
Yeah.
And that and her hormones all changed. Mm-hmm. And look at her now. I mean, that's to me what's absolutely amazing.
That's great. It's history. It's fun to watch. Speaking of being a mother, there is another story I want to get into this morning about a woman who has breastfed the last 2 years. She's got 2 kids. She's now asking her husband to buy her a new boob job. She's like, my boobs aren't the same and so it's gone viral on TikTok.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing, but she's asking her husband, and he's like, I ain't buying you new boobs. I like your boobs fine. She's like, you're buying me new boobs. She goes, I just saved you $4,000 in formula.
Is he really saying no?
He's like, you don't.
What a dumbass.
Well, he loves her, but he doesn't want to change. Well, we know that women change when they get breasts, dude.
No. But that's what. But like,
and if he still loves her for what they are,
this absolutely.
He's like, I like your breasts the way they are, even after you're breastfed.
But this goes into the exact argument that I just gave.
Exactly. Bed Bath & Beyond is closing 150 stores. I think our one here is closing.
Yeah. You got some weird pivots.
At 900. And also 10 things that all classy women do. I love this. We're definitely getting this. Her name's Anna Bay. She's a relationship / woman's better health kind of woman. She said these are 10 things that all classy women do.
Okay.
And then I was going to get into 10 things classy guys always do. Actually, this is 10 things that classy women don't ever do. I'm going to give you 10 classy things that guys always do. So we'll get into that. And also, Leonardo DiCaprio is catching a lot of shit today.
Why? What did he do?
Because he broke up with his 25-year-old girlfriend. He's been dating her, I guess, for a couple of years. And she, of course, TMZ was outside their apartment as she was moving her boxes out. And he was seen with a 22-year-old Ukrainian girl. And people are giving him a hard time because he's 47.
I was going to say, he's got to be...
What's the big deal?
It is a big deal.
No, it's not.
Yes, here we go again.
He's 47.
And she's
he was dating at 25. And now he's going... And so they said, this is typical Leonardo DiCaprio. He goes out with young 20-year-olds for a couple of years, then gives them the boot, then goes out with something younger.
Right, that's not right.
So,
it's not okay.
But it's not wrong. He can do whatever he wants. He can date
can,
whoever he wants. He's not
okay.
marrying these women.
I understand.
If they want to go out with a 47-year-old man, and listen, they're going out with a multi-billionaire dude. Yep. I would go out with Leonardo DiCaprio, and I'm a heterosexual. If he asked me out, I'm in.
Yeah.
I'd be giving him massages. I'm good with that. I'd give it a shot. So these women are appreciating and enjoying all the accolades and all the wonderful things that come about being around a celebrity. And yes, you're dating Leonardo DiCaprio. I think she'd be fine.
He should have helped her move her stuff.
But evidently you don't know when it's going to end.
Oh, it's like radio.
Exactly. Like he's going out with the girls and like overnight, I found someone new. It's time for you to move on. And you're like,
see,
what?
that's not right.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that. Do you know what today is too? We mentioned Rob Conrad. It's your favorite psychologist's birthday today.
Dr. Phil?
Dr. Phil's 74 today.
Man, he's younger than I thought.
Yeah,
He's kind of, well, that happens in TV.
Did he get divorced, didn't he?
Yeah. But that happens.
Walking off stage with his wife. I'm like,
yeah, but that kind of happens in TV.
Yeah.
You know, you just.
You'd be nowhere without.
There is no, there's not another one. There's not one coming up.
Yeah. Gloria Estefan. Is it Estefan or Stefan?
Estefan.
She has a birthday today. You want to take a grab? How old she's?
She's got to be our age, 56.
She's 65.
Really?
Yes. And according to Guinness Book of World Records,
that's interesting.
The all-time greatest songwriter. He's written more #1 songs than anybody is. Should be pretty easy. Greatest songwriter of our time, Paul McCartney.
Oh, right.
Do you know who the second
Ed Sheeran
best songwriter
in terms of
most #1 hits he's ever written and appeared in?
Barry Manilow, James Taylor.
You're close. Barry Gibb.
Yeah. Yes, I forgot about that. Yeah, I've watched the documentary.
He's 76 years old. You know, I know a lot of people say the Bee Gees suck. It was a disco thing.
Watch the documentary on their life.
Yeah, all their songs. You know, and they were long before the Grease and the.
Yeah.
And then they did a lot of stuff afterwards. But he has written more #1 songs for other people.
Do you know what?
Which is amazing.
So do you know? Just quickly, I'm riffing on this. I watched the documentary because I thought it was really interesting. They've had a tragic life and all this stuff. But one of the things he said was after disco just became so loathed and hated, right? They got together and they're like, okay, we can't perform. Can't do it because no one's going to let us perform, right? And this is, to me, this is such a good business lesson. We can almost use this on Tap to Perish. This is such a good business lesson. The market is not buying us. They are not buying us. But we are talented. We have something to offer that more than our presentation and more than our singing. He's like, let's write songs. Let's write songs. We're great at writing songs. And so they went for a long, well, probably almost most of the rest of their career, particularly Barry, they just wrote, we can't perform it, but we're going to write this for you to perform. And it was prolific. And that's such a great life lesson. If they're not buying what you're putting out there, it doesn't mean that you don't have anything to offer. It just means that the thing that you're putting out front may not be what everybody wants, but put a different part of you out there.
Write some songs for somebody else. And everyone talks about Hall & Oates. Oates is kind of like Oates is the biggest part of Hall & Oates.
Yes.
He writes all their stuff.
Yep.
There's a reason why Hall & Oates are still touring. And Oates has written so many great songs for so many other artists. It's amazing. I know John Hall does too, or Daryl Hall. John Hall's a different guy. But he's the singer in Oates, and they have a great collaboration. They're fantastic. Speaking of collaboration, it's a customer co-op at Coosa Valley Auto Sale. I was texting back and forth with Al Cooper this morning, along with his entire crew, Jeremiah, Dakota, Shane, David. Congratulations to Brad, who recently got married. I think, is he getting married today or yesterday? Anyway, fantastic. Tom Williams, good morning to you. You're watching this morning. They do wonderful work. If you're wondering if advertising on TKR works, this is just a small part. We just do this Facebook Live thing for fun because we have a couple hundred people that get on and watch us throughout the day, and we love doing that. But you get on TKR, the TKR app. It's Tony Curry Radio. We have our 13 shows, which go on every single day. We mentioned Win in Rome with Stuart Rome. That airs every single day at 5 o'clock. You got Adapt or Perish. That runs every single day, Monday through Friday at 12 noon. You got Mission Minded. You got the Damon Johnson Show, Need to Know with Kip Keefer. Wanna Bet, which is his brand new betting show. It's a fantastic show, Dark Side of the Pooch. And, of course, last night we did Live Wire Wednesday, which was fantastic. We did all AC/DC tailgating songs that you should listen to. You either heard them at tailgating or you need to have them at your tailgating party. It's up on Spotify this morning.
That's interesting. I'm going to have to go listen to that.
It's a full hour of AC/DC. It's great. It's got all kinds of great tailgating songs.
Very interesting.
Thunderstruck should be in there because you hear that inside the stadium.
Okay.
Then, of course, college football kicking off in earnest tonight.
Big Balls?
Big Balls is in there. Play Ball's in there. Have a Drink on Me.
Oh, right.
Okay. There's a song called Nick of Time that AC/DC did.
Oh, nice.
Nick Saban.
Yeah.
A song called Stand Up. Oh, yeah. CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. Al, I see, is watching right now. They do a fantastic job. There's pictures of all the cars. He posts videos up on Facebook. They do wonderful work. And at any given time, they have 40 to 50 different cars in their lot. I know people want selection, but man, there's new Easter eggs. They call them Easter eggs. He gets up there in the morning at 4 o'clock, and next thing you know, there's 6 new cars in the lot. He's like, what's the roll? They're used cars, and used cars are the way to go right now because when you buy a new car, the equity's lost as soon as you get off the lot.
Yep.
Check that out. Check out CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. CoosaValleyAutoSale.com. I will be answering your phone here shortly. 256-267-0296. 256-267-0296. So make a short drive to Silicaga like I did. I'm going to be buying a car from them here in the next few weeks. As soon as I get my finances in order, I'm good to go, and they'll work with you there too. So they're fantastic. Then after you do that, call Chris Dorsey's State Farm team to insure your used car.
Probably should call them at the same time.
Yeah, 205-95-7799, 95-7799. He is a top 10 State Farm agent out of 18,500 across the country. We have him right here in Birmingham. He's fantastic. Tell him Tony Curry sent you. So a great story. 10 things classy women never do. An elegance expert reveals the habits to avoid if you want to look refined, from pushing your plate forwards to showing the soles of your shoes. So I read these things.
She's an elegance expert?
She's an elegance expert.
I love that.
She looks very elegant. And I see these stories, and sometimes you click on them, and you're like, whatever, I already need that stuff. And then once in a while, there's a couple of nuggets in there like, I never knew. And this is one of those stories where I never knew. Because I'm all about the classy woman.
Yes.
And then in the bedroom, a nasty You want the good, classy woman at the restaurant, and then you want that schoolgirl, the Catholic schoolgirl thing in the bedroom, right?
Don't look at me for validation on that one. You're on your own, big boy.
Number one, don't be rude or snarky to another person. That makes sense. Classy people aren't rude or snarky.
Right.
They're not.
Snooty people
They're above
are
that.
right.
And when I say, now let's separate this. Classy and snooty are two totally different things.
That's what I'm saying, yeah.
You can be classy and snooty.
No, you can't.
No, you're right. You're right.
What takes you
classy is classy, humbled, humility, but you're classy. All right. Snooty is you know you're classy, or you think you're classy.
There you go.
All right. So that's number one.
That's a good Instagram post.
Number two, don't push away your plate at the end of a meal. Okay, this is one of those. What's that all about? She explains that elegant people always have the very best etiquette when it comes to sitting down for a meal. In particular, she knows that the way a person behaves at a dinner party can be a good indicator whether or not they're elegant or classy or not.
Yep.
She advised not pushing your plate away at the end of a meal, as this is not considered an elegant thing to do. I never knew. For diners who want to show gratitude for their host, she suggests asking the person who has cooked for you if they need any help with the dishes afterwards, and if they oblige yes, get up and help. If they say no, don't help.
Right.
If you're one of these people that says, I'm helping even if she said no, they want to show you a good time, that's not classy.
No,
if
you can give it once.
Exactly.
You can give it once.
Exactly. She said, avoid being too helpful at a dinner party because that's not classy.
No.
She said it's always sweet when people want to help with something that can become intrusive if they end up taking over the kitchen, and a lot of people don't like that because they don't know where your stuff is, and some people, quite frankly, are a little anxious about where their dishes go and how things are done.
I don't like people when I'm cleaning the kitchen after dinner. It makes me, not that I don't appreciate it, but it's like you don't know where these dishes go. Like, stay out of my kitchen.
Number three, don't take your jacket to the table at a restaurant.
What?
Exactly.
Take your like a coat.
There are several rules people should adhere to while dining out as well as someone's house, and according to the expert, the first rule comes immediately as a person walks into the restaurant. If you're at a diner at a finer establishment, the host or hostess will often ask if the staff can take your coat or jacket.
Give it to
when
them.
Someone says, can I take your coat or jacket for you? That means they're saying, take your coat or jacket. I was at a restaurant with Philip Maloof, who owns the Palms and Sacramento Kings and all that stuff. And we went to the top of what's the bank downtown we went? Really upscale place, and I was doing PA announcing, and I walked in obviously with a pair of jeans and a t-shirt, and they're like, Mr. Curry, would you like a jacket? I said, no, I'm good. It's kind of hot in here. He's like, what size of jacket do you wear? And I said, a 44 extra long. He's like, we'll find you a jacket. And Philip looked at me and he goes, you have to wear a jacket here. And I went, oh, I didn't know. So watch your jacket here. Here's a really good one. Don't ever go to the bathroom during a meal in a restaurant.
What if you have to go really bad? And then don't do this.
She has an answer for you.
Okay.
Sometimes nature calls while you're sitting down to eat a meal, and there's not much you can do about it. And according to this woman, there's no strict rule as to when the right time is to visit the bathroom when you're out to dinner. However, she added, people with elegance and class try their best to wait until the end of the meal, however many courses there may be, to relieve themselves. For those who desperately need to go to the toilet while out for dinner, she advised the best time to go is shortly before dessert is served.
There you go.
Although she admitted it was not ideal. She added, it's typically considered very unelegant to visit the bathroom before or after the first course is put on the table.
Okay.
I do that a lot. If I know I'm going to have to pee, then
I go right before.
And I do that when I'm with my kids. I always go to the bathroom right after I order my meal, not to wash my hands and to pee, and then my meal usually comes out while I'm in the bathroom.
That's not classy.
No, it's not classy at all. She advised people not to do was announcing where they're going if they need to use the toilet. You don't ever get up and say, I'm going to go use the bathroom. Some people are really weird about people using the toilet because they're thinking about shit. They're thinking about peeing, and they don't need to hear that. They don't need to know where you're going.
Now see that? Wow.
When I walk into a restaurant, the first thing I do is I find the bathroom. That way I don't have to ask the waiter, can you tell me where the bathroom is? I need to use the bathroom. You know, and you're sitting there with your filet, and people are like, dude, your filet just came. You're like, I need to use the can. Sometimes for guys, we're trying to make room so we can eat that filet. If you get up and go poop 3 or 4 times during your meal, you're having like a 7-course meal. It's great, so keep that in mind. Don't speak loudly on the phone on public transport. That's
not classy. That's not a classy thing. That's like Like,
dude, do you have
a human?
Do you have a problem with?
Yes,
I do too.
I cannot. So there's two things I cannot stand. One,
I don't need to
do not tell me anything. And you know what's even worse? You know what's worse than that? As long as we're talking about it, people in the can.
Yeah.
Like, what the hell? You are in the bathroom. You're on the toilet, and if you're a guy, you're taking a crap.
Yeah.
And you're talking on the phone.
Yeah.
And it's not. It's it'd be one thing like. Yeah, okay, I understand you're bleeding. I'll be there in a minute. This is like, yeah, we went out to dinner. Like, what?
Yeah, text or what?
Stop!
Oh, I know some people that go to the bathroom just so they can get on the phone, which is like really strange. I'm totally with you, man. Nothing bothers me more than when, and we all know these people, they're in line at a grocery store, or they're walking through the aisles and they're on their phone. They're usually working for Shipt.
No, but see that? Okay, but that doesn't bother me. See, stop. And that's their job.
No, first of all, no, I want no speakerphone. It's bad enough I have to hear your conversation, but I don't need to hear the conversation of the other person. And if you got a mask thing, I'm totally cool with that. Yeah. If you have to have the earbuds in all day because you're a stockbroker,
or you're a customer service representative.
Yeah, and I like to think to myself, could you not done this out in the car before you walked in the restaurant and start talking really loud on your phone? Yep. If you're that damn busy, then
don't go to dinner.
Then don't go to dinner.
Or take it. There is zero excuse. The only excuse I've ever seen, and I can, because these are two friends, I've seen two friends who are physicians who got called.
Yeah, if you're on call.
In the middle, and then, and there was they initially took the call, and then they said, they stepped out.
Yeah.
Like, let's just, look, I'm going to just, there is absolutely, A, no reason, and B, nothing classy about being in a toilet talking on the phone.
Yeah.
I don't care even if you got your earbuds in.
What about people walking the neighborhood? You got a problem with that? I got a woman that she walks up and I thought she was psychotic for a while. Because she's just sitting there going, I know. And I was like, and I go, hey.
Listen, I know people who kind of take their exercise and they'll talk to their friends.
Yeah.
I think I'm okay with that because, again, the difference is you're walking in the neighborhood. You're not standing in line. You're not taking up my listening space. That's the way I think about it.
Here's another thing. This is classy for all people. And I go to a lot of business lunches. I do things. A lot of people put their phones on the table. Okay? I get friends of mine I go with. Doesn't bother me at all because I know they got things going on. Face up, never.
No.
Face down, better. On silent, no vibrate, even better. If it's down
and it's
vibrating, you're going to pick it up and look at it. You got no reason to put your face phone down if you're going to pick it up anyway.
Right.
Okay? Best thing to do is certainly if you're on a date, leave it in the car or put it in your pocket. If you're one of these freaks that can't go 60 flipping minutes on a date, you have to look at your phone, I ain't going out with you. I'm sorry. I know that's old man. That's Archie Bunkers. I don't give a shit.
It's not.
I am not. If I go out with a woman and she has to, now if she's like, my kids are at home with a new babysitter and she wants to explain it, then I'm fine with that. But if we go out 2 or 3 different times and she cannot go to dinner without putting her phone on the table or leaving it in a purse or in the car, then I got a problem with that because I know where I am in the priority line. And I'm like, you know what? And I do the best I can to make sure. Some people like to use their phone because they like to look like they're busy. You know, when you're out with a business client, sometimes they're always going, I got to take this. And you're like, okay. And I allow them to do it because I'm trying to get their money. Or I'm trying to do a partnership with them. That's fine, you know? Or if I'm with Al Cooper at Coosa Valley Auto Sales, his phone's ringing off the hook because he's selling cars. I got no problem with that at all. But if you're on a date and you're having a time with a person, put your damn phone away. That drives me crazy. I can do it. I'm on my phone a lot. I know it's something we have to have. It's our alarm clock. It's our music. It's our connection to life. I get that. For 1 hour, my connection to life is with this woman across the table. I want to have a good time. And I'll even say, do you want to leave your car in the phone? Or you leave your phone in the car? Oh, see people freak out. Why?
No.
Well, we're going to have dinner.
No, I can't.
It's 9 o'clock at night. You have no children. You have no children, no dog, nothing to worry about. You're here with me. You got a problem with that? If they got to take their phone, that's where you are. That's the woman that has the cat that sleeps on her pillow while you're trying to make love to her.
Keep it real here.
Yeah.
Listen, there's a spider.
Oh, just wipe down.
No, it's in my hair.
It's fault.
It's in my bald head.
It's full.
Okay.
Don't stare at people. Staring is considered rude and not classy at all.
Oh, I get in trouble? Does it have pointing?
No.
I'm a pointer.
Don't. That's even worse.
Did you see that person over there?
She added that it's considered even more disrespectful and ill-mannered to stare at someone while your mouth is open. You can't look any more ridiculous than that. You can sit there and kind of look around a little bit.
Listen to this. This is a classic.
Don't chew gum in public. This is a big one.
Oh, I'm a chewer.
I know you are. I saw you chewing there at the ball when you were making your video. You were chewing hard, dude.
Yeah, that was an anxiety management.
You were chewing, and you were chewing with your mouth open. You look like a cow chewing cud.
Yeah.
But you were smiling. You were good. You
did what you had my gum.
I chew Nicorette.
Yeah, I'm bad.
But I do know some people that will not have a conversation with me if I'm chewing gum anywhere.
No, it doesn't bother me if somebody else is, because I am.
They're not doing that. Don't show the sole of your shoes when you sit down. Now, this is one I was like, really?
No, but how do you not? Like, what when you fall?
She said she tends to advise ladies on how to be more elegant. She has one or two more tips to the gentleman as well. In particular, she addressed something that men should avoid while sitting down with their legs crossed. According to the elegance expert, you should never angle your feet so the soles of your shoes are facing another person.
Okay.
It's put offish. I can see
but
that.
I feel like that's.
And you should always keep them facing the ground. Describing as a big elegance and etiquette mistake. She said it's ill-mannered to show the soles to another person while you're seated.
Because you might have dog crap on it or something.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I don't know how you. I almost feel like it'd be difficult.
Like this?
Oh yeah, you got some dirt on
I know. I got dog shit on my shoes.
Yeah.
Soles of your feet
See, now
are
that's
nasty.
Okay. See, that's what you're doing. See the way you're doing that way?
Yeah.
Because you're not showing it to
They're
me.
nasty. They're disgusting.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it. I don't want to see your shoes.
Nope.
That's a good one. Here's a good one here.
Particularly if you've just gone to the bathroom because you might have some toilet.
Number 10 is don't carry a large handbag at night. That's fine. I know some women looks like they have luggage. If you're going to a park or something, you have a bunch of shit in there, it's fine. But carry a smaller bag. You don't need to be carrying this big bag. So we're done with that one. Number 9, though, is interesting. Don't explain why you can't attend an event. I like this. You're good at saying no. A lot of people feel like they got to say yes to everything, particularly when they're helping somebody, and they're not thinking about their own mental health. In doing that, they end up getting way too many things scheduled up. They're late for things. They have to cancel things, and that's worse. You're better off just saying, "I've got things." You do it all the time. I got calls 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, and I try to fit you in there, but I just can't do it. And obviously, it's based on priority. While declining an invitation to a social event, it might even seem natural to tell the host why they're not able to make it. But according to this woman, these explanations could be a sign that you are not an elegant person. She said, elegant people are never going to be there telling the host there's a bunch of reasons of why they cannot make it and always over-explain everything.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I'm halfway with you.
It almost sounds like a bunch of excuses, she said. However, while elegant people do not give much information when declining an invitation, she added those are many elegant people do, to ensure when responding. Elegant behavior is, of course, responding to an invitation in a good time and manner. You don't want to let your host wait for ages to receive an answer from you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
If you cannot attend an event, all you need to do is say you're unable to go. This is one of those things where.
Yeah. I think you have to think about, is there a reason why I'm not going? And is it valuable in any way to let them know? I've been in situations. Look,
I was supposed to be on the Jay Barker Radio Network yesterday.
I've got a sick child.
And it was my first day with him.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, my apologies. I always apologize, even though it's not something I can control. But I apologize. And I don't say I'm sorry. I say apologies. Apologies is a way of saying I'm sorry, but not looking like it's my fault. It's because they know, and he's a friend of mine. Jay's a good friend of mine. So I say apologies, but my son's got 102 fever.
Well, and that's not that's different than I'm unable to attend an event in a week.
But if it's your first day at work, or you're trying to make an impression on somebody, sometimes explaining a little bit.
Just a little bit. That's what I'm saying. Just a little bit.
Yeah. If you're sending pictures of your son sick, I'm calling bullshit on you.
Well, the sick thing. Okay, look. If your child is sick. If your child's sick, I actually overheard something in the gym about this, but from a boss. If your child is sick, it is the number one get out of jail free card. Now, don't lie about it.
If you lie about it, your kid will get sick.
Yes,
that's like saying, I'm sorry, my aunt died or my aunt has cancer. Don't do that. Don't use that.
But if if your kid is sick, and we've all been in business situations where, right, I'm not going to be able to do it with my kid's sick. And, internally, depending on what it is, and there's a difference between my child was in an accident or whatever, but my kid's sick. Yeah. There is, and I've seen, and I work with companies where the executive's like, can't you get somebody to help with you?
Yeah.
And this is a really interesting one if you're a leader of a company. If your employee says, my kid is sick, I need to go be with them, and it's not something that happens every week, get over yourself. Get over yourself. Don't pull the can't you find somebody, because no, that's not, first of all, this is a kid. There are things that are more important than your business, and that kid is more important. I think where you have to be very careful, and I heard this in the gym, was an employee who was having multiple reasons why they couldn't be at work. And the last one was their mother wasn't feeling good, their kid was sick, their sister, something with their car, and then the last one is, I have to take my dad to a friend of his funeral. And I heard this guy saying, look, I get it. He was saying, he just talking to a friend, I get it, but at some point, I got to run my business.
Yeah.
So I think you have to be judicious about it. If you got young kids, it's happening all the time. But I just...
And how often are you doing it? If you're one of these people that's calling in once a week with an issue, then maybe you don't need to have this job.
Yes.
Because I'm hiring.
Don't go on vacation because
or is this something you can do virtually? Is this
that's
something you
right.
can do at home? But I mean, that's.
But as a boss too, have a conversation.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing I see all the time. They're always calling. Why don't you talk to them?
Yeah.
Look, it looks like you got a lot of stuff going on. And have HR with you. Looks like you got a lot of stuff going on. Maybe this isn't the best schedule for you.
Yeah. So what are some things that guys do that are classy and not classy?
They sit with the boxers and
these are chivalrous.
Oh, that kind of stuff. To a point. But,
open the door. I always like to open the door. If the situation presents itself, every woman loves a flower, whether it's one flower or a bouquet of flowers, depending on what the situation is. No carnations. I try to, the phone thing is huge for me.
Yes.
And I don't even know, I'm assuming that most women recognize this, but I will always leave my phone in my pocket. If it vibrates and I'm not expecting an emergency or a phone call,
there you go.
I will not reach for my pocket.
Sure.
I don't, it's like someone constantly saying, hold on a sec, or looking over your shoulder and saying, hold on a sec, because your phone's going to ring. And in a given hour, I've got enough notifications on. I'm going to get something for BRC. I'm going to get something from. It's going to. Well,
yeah, and that's the problem with it is you don't know.
It's in your pocket, so leave it in the car. Yes. Unless it's something that you cannot do without over the course of the hour. Then you say, I'm expecting a very important phone call, or I have a new babysitter, or my kid may be reaching out to me. Preface that.
There you go.
So they don't think it's an out for you.
That's right.
Right.
Even if it is. Then you call your friend.
Exactly. The other thing is, I think is really interesting, and I know a lot of people. I know you know a lot of people too. I try to make sure that if this is a date thing because class obviously goes more beyond just dating, but there's a lot of dating tips in here. I want to make sure that the girl I'm with has my undivided attention, and I
really
inevitably am going to have somebody come up to the table and say,
"Hey, you're Tony Kurre.
Hey, you're Tony Kurre, or Tony Bone, or something like that."
Right.
Which it's great. A little of that is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you're going to a place that you frequent, I'm not going to go to a place, I'm not going to take my first date to Buffalo Wild Wings, even if she wants to watch a ball game, because I'm going to know everybody in the place, and there's going to be people stop at the table, and at first, that's cool, because she's like, wow, this guy knows everybody.
Yeah,
this
but
guy
then
must
after
be
about
important.
20
It's
minutes,
a power thing, but then you can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
Then you're like, oh, man, I'm going to dinner with a girlfriend, and try to do the best you can to, no, introduce her.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I couldn't find the word. Introduce her to
and don't forget her name.
Because if someone comes up the table and talks to you for 5 or 6 seconds, or 5 or 6 minutes, and then they walk away, she's going to go, who was that?
Yeah.
And you're going to go, because they don't know what your situation is. It could be first, second, third date, and they're like, okay, this guy knows a lot of people, but he doesn't know who the hell he's talking to. I'm not Michael Jackson. I'm Tony Curry.
Do you let them know before you go? No, listen, we're going out in public.
No, I don't. No, because that makes
a lot of times in public, people will come up to me.
Or take them to a place where you're probably not going to know anybody.
Right.
Or ask for a corner table.
Right, where you're dark glasses.
Where you're not going to be.
You're Tony Curry. You got to be careful.
Dark glasses. Talk about one of our great sponsors here real quick, and then we'll do one more story.
I'll tell you about John Gray from Driscoll Gray. He is the man who will take your money and manage it and create wealth for you. He will also help you navigate your money in difficult times. His webpage is driscollgray.com. He's a financial advisor, works with people of all levels of income. Listen, you should not be wealthy and have someone manage your money only. In fact, the best place and best time to start is when you're struggling or when you're just starting out. Both of my kids, the 21 and 23, they've saved a little bit of money. And this is where John is so great. Obviously, they do not have a portfolio.
Yeah.
But John has helped them invest their money as part of the family. And it's again, he's worked with my family for over 20 years. He will work with you as a family or as a couple or as a person. It's not just about your money. Go to his webpage today, driscollgray.com.
So this mother of two has been breastfeeding for the last 2 years.
Oh, yes. I have so much to say.
I got on TikTok and she said, I'm asking my husband for a boob job, breast augmentation, because, 2 reasons. First of all, I don't like the way my boobs look after they've been suckled for the last 2 years, having 2 children. And second of all, I've saved us about $4,000 in formula. And so my husband should have the money to buy me new boobs. She wants new boobs. She doesn't like the way they look. We haven't heard anything from him, so he may say totally cool.
Yep.
I do know, being around women for a long period of time in my life,
yes,
that women change when they get breast augmentation. I've seen women who were very, very classy, didn't show cleavage, didn't think it was necessary, and then when they get new boobs, they want to show them.
Maybe they weren't happy with their boobs.
Maybe they weren't. Then they get breast augmentation, and they want to show them. I know 2 marriages that broke up, which is hard to believe.
They didn't break up, not because of.
It was more than the straw that broke that camel. It was 2 humps, is what it was. But I saw guys going, yeah, I'm getting my wife a boob job.
I hate that.
And they're like, or my wife wants to get a boob job. What should I do? And I'm like, oh, she wants new boobs, and you get her new boobs. And then every time they went out, she couldn't stop showing them off. I'm not talking this show them off, but and he's like, I'm not used to that. You ever have your wife? Wear a shirt? Every guy's gone through this. Wears a shirt that's a little low cut, and she's leaning over the table a lot in front of mixed company to pass the mashed potatoes or grab a fork, and you can see all the way down to her belly button, and you got to go, come here. And you take her to the kitchen. Hey, by the way, I know you're not wearing a bra and stuff, but everybody at this end of the table is seeing everything. And she's like, oh, I'm sorry.
No, that's
I don't know if women actually know that they're showing everything. I would assume they would, but and they'll button up.
But they're not button up. If they're button up,
because I'm seeing more than I usually see.
If they're button up for you, there's a problem. They're button up for you because you've told them that they're showing too much cleavage.
I don't ever say button up. I just say, I want to let you know that I can see your nipple every time you reach for the mashed potatoes.
And they're like, oh my God, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
That's equivalent.
I got a good friend of mine who's got a wife that she's not slutty or anything. She's got a great body and she puts it out there. But she's always when she starts to drink and stuff like that, and you can tell guys are kind of looking around, they're waiting for her to bend over, and it's like, dude. And my friend's like, and he's had conversations with her. I love you. We've been married for 20 years. You're awesome. But I don't appreciate the fact that,
No, and I think that's totally
and the
reasonable.
other women in the audience, in the room are like, hey, and they're telling her, hey, you may want to button up a little bit.
Right, and then that's, I'm okay with
that. So, does a man have any say in whether his wife gets breast augmentation?
I think...
If I'm getting a tattoo, I'm asking my ex or my significant other.
You see where you're going? You're already changing it. I agree. If I'm going to do something that's going to alter my body, and I am married or I'm with somebody, absolutely, it's not that they have sometimes I want them to have a say.
Yeah.
And I think that's the big difference is you invite them to have some input in there. Ultimately, it's your decision. So again, if it's me, let's say I want to get another tattoo.
But by asking. are you also opening up a Pandora's box of resentment in that I'm going to do whatever I want to do?
Well, then don't.
This is me going to Vegas. I used to ask my ex.
If you're asking, if you're asking, be
knowing what you're going to do.
If you have no intention of taking any input, right? And even if they say it, if you are not going to allow any of their perspective to help you make your decision,
then you shouldn't ask.
Then do not ask. But also get ready to deal with the consequences.
If you know what they're going to say ahead of time, in other words, my ex would always go, I know you're going, so go, have a good time. But I would, out of respect, knowing if she said no, it would...
Listen.
We're going to have World War III.
Well, yeah, that's exactly. So this is one of the number one predictors of a successful relationship is when we allow our partner to have influence on our decisions. Not every single decision, but our decisions in life. If you are going on to do something that you absolutely know you want to do, you don't really care what your partner thinks. With the exception maybe of, look, if they're absolutely adamant and it's a no, I won't do it. But if you know what you're going to do, then don't ask. Let them know. Hey, I'm going to get a new tattoo. That's what I'm decided. I'm going to go get a tattoo and I'm going to go next Saturday. Now you're in an interesting position. They could say, well...
If you know they don't want you to get a tattoo...
Then, well, listen, if you know they don't want you to get a tattoo, then you need to have a discussion about it. I know you don't want me to get a tattoo. This is really important to me.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Do you see what I mean?
Because I know some people are going to get a tattoo because she doesn't want you to get a tattoo.
Well, now you got...
now you got a bigger problem.
Well, now your relationship's all messed up anyway.
Yeah, that's
why I'm saying the boob job thing, the boob job discussion is very telling about the relationship and each of the partners. Mm-hmm. If I had a video of how those discussions went down, you could say so much about the relationship. Because if he says, I want you to get a breast job.
Yeah, maybe she doesn't want the boob job.
If she says, this is a great example. I've had 2 kids. I've been breastfeeding for 2 years. Mm-hmm. I'm 40 years old. My breasts are starting to reach my knees. Yeah. And I am not happy. I want to get a breast job. I want to get a breast augmentation. If you're the guy, unless you're saying, I'm concerned about your health, you've got a couple chronic conditions, I'm worried about the anesthesia or whatever, that's okay. If you say, I love you just the way you are, and I don't want you getting a breast job, you're walking into trouble. You can say, I love you just the way you are.
Yeah, see, this is the great thing about being a woman, because women have cleavage. There are things that women can wear, whether it's a shorter skirt or a cleavage.
Yeah, we got nothing.
To show, we got nothing.
I mean, other than...
And I always think to myself, and we wish we did have something. If I knew that I could get a penis extension,
and let
everyone know that I've had a penis extension without actually showing it to you, there would be a line from here all the way to Bessemer to get that extension done. When women get breast jobs, it makes them feel better. They're more confident. They're better, period. They can show them off a little bit. Maybe they're not going down the belly button. And I've seen so many women get breast. First of all, we see the difference.
Right.
I mean, we're like, wow. I mean, we all see it. And you love that. Women love that because they know that they walk in, they're standing up straighter.
Well, maybe they were very flat chested.
If there was a way for guys, all guys can do is go to the gym and try to get a 6-pack, and we can't show that off in a restaurant.
No, but you know what they're doing now? They have shirts. This is not one because I'm natural.
You're classy.
I'm classy. Yeah. But they have shirts now. This is so classic. I guess it's not just guys. I think guys coming around to it. Yeah. They have shirts that hold your tummy in, right? That'd be Spanx for men. Yeah. But now they're making dad bod shirts, which are tighter around the chest and arms.
And bigger at the bottom.
And bigger at the bottom. So you watch the commercials? And what's interesting about it is the way they do the commercials is much like a boob job. Yeah. The guy walks in and the wife's like, wow, those guns are really blazing. Look at that. Mm-hmm. You know what he's not telling you is, yeah, my gut's just as big as it is, but now it's tight around here. It's the same thing. The difference is it's not cosmetic augmentation. I'll say this. you need to be super careful when your partner is talking about augmenting themselves. Everything from a tattoo to lipo to breast reduction to a nose job, whatever it is, tread super lightly and seek to understand where they're coming from. You can give your opinion later. Yep. Do not make it your opinion in the first 30 seconds of what you think. Now you can say, I love you for who you are and what you are. You can say that, then shut up. They still may want to get a boob job. They still may want to get a tattoo. And I think the tattoo one is actually more interesting because it's more benign unless you're going to get it across your forehead. Yep. If your partner wants to get a tattoo, you can say, I'm not real thrilled about it, but I want you to do what makes you happy.
It was 10 degrees cooler this morning. It was fantastic. Big ass spiders out. Yes. Oh, it was so good. It's going to be stinking hot again later on today. Enjoy your college football. Mark Ingram, our good friend, the athletic director for the UAB Blazers, is going to start joining our show every single week.
Wonderful.
Start next week. UAB, of course, has got Alabama A&M later on tonight. Of course, we got Auburn and Mercer. You got Alabama and Utah State. Got some great games this weekend. Enjoy your college football. Check out Tony Curry Radio, the TKR app. Download the TKR app. You're doing me a huge favor. Costs nothing. It's free. Takes you 5 seconds. You don't like it, get rid of it. I promise you're going to love it, though. Great classic rock and roll, 24 hours a day. Great shows as well. And, of course, go to wherever you get the Tony Curry Radio podcast. Pull up Tony Curry Radio podcast. Just Google it. You can find it on Audio Boom. It's on every major indice for any of our music shows. Go to Spotify, and you can listen to our AC/DC tailgating thing we did last night. It was fantastic. It'll be great. You're going to hear that show outside Bryant Denny, outside Jordan-Hare this weekend, maybe out Protective Life Stadium later on tonight. It's a great show brought to you by Southern Precision Staffing for all your staffing needs, construction, or anything else. 205-682-2828, 205-682-2828. Check out all of our podcasts. They're fantastic. And thanks for watching Kurre and Klapow. We were on Fox 6 yesterday.
It's all over social media.
All over social media. So check us out on social media, and we'll do it again next Thursday right around 9:35 here on the Tony Curry Radio. Peace and have a great day.